And just like that,
you know, she's looking at me.
Hey, friends. Welcome.
Hey, friends.
Welcome back to
GirlFriendShip. And I am just cracking up because these ladies that we love so much, we love them so much that we had to say, look, you guys need to talk to us some more, right?
Yes, we wanted to talk more about these girlfriend themed shows and if these shows are as on point, as you think they are. And so we said, hey, maybe they should stay and hang out on the couch a little longer. So we asked back Eleanor Renfrew, our Gen Z contributor.
Hello.
And actress Stacy Arnell.
And we made them stay.
We're keeping them hostage because we want to talk about these new shows, starting with the new chapter of Sex and the City, which is now called And Just Like That.
She's looking at me. She's looking at me funny.
As well as old favorites like Girlfriends and Girls and Insecure. And we just want to figure out if these shows are, hitting the mark. Are these women still having these realistic girlfriendship, relationships? So welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So what should we start with? Well, of course, we're going to start with the Sex and the City next chapter.
Let's do
just
it.
Like
it's
that.
The next chapter.
I mean, is it crazy that women still can't get enough of these four women?
Well, that is crazy. But I do love that the new chapter, they brought in new ladies and they brought in women of color. Yeah. Because in the real world, I have Asian friends, I have Hispanic friends, I have African American friends. So I was really happy to see that. And somebody that I know is on the show. So I'm really hooked to the show.
Yes, we definitely going to talk about who you know on the show. I've seen the Instagram photos. You should see your Instagram photos. Oh, don't worry. The secret will be let out.
All right.
In this episode.
I need to be patient.
But yeah, you're right. I love this rainbow colored cast. And I got a quote from Cynthia Nixon who stated, she said that we love almost everything about our original series, but it was always very white.
Yes.
And she said, yes, I said it. She said it. She said white. And she said, it never really sat well with any of us. And she said to be able to go back and change that, she said that helped widen it and improve it.
Right. And that's one of the things that I was talking about when we were getting the show together is that it really didn't radiate for me on a particular level. First of all, you're in New York. You don't have any friends of color. I don't know. So I looked at it a different way. Again, I looked at it for the fashion, and I looked at it in a very different way.
And it never deterred me from not watching it because the characters were so good. So yeah, this one, I love And Just Like That.
And the first lady who's been brought into the fold is someone you know. Charlotte brings in this beautiful Black woman played by Nicole Ari Parker.
Talk about diversity.
Right. And get her name, Lisa Todd Wexley. Is that name not grand?
That name is so white.
That's why it sounds so grand. I feel like she's walking into the castle and they about to do the trumpets and say Lisa Todd Wexley.
And she delivers. She's that
the
name.
Boss.
Yeah, her clothes.
Yes. Oh my God. Wait. When they were doing the charity work and the painting and she came up with the jacket with the brushes, the makeup, I was on Amazon looking for it.
Oh.
I thought it was like something you can buy. Who does the styling on the show?
Oh, Patricia Fields.
Patricia Fields. She hooked that up. And I created my own jacket.
Oh.
Did you? I was in love with that. I was like, is that something
you
I
gotta
can
send
buy?
us a
Who's the
picture.
designer? So nice.
She's the one that has all the art in her home.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's the art is incredible.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
the way that home is decorated is like beyond.
But speaking to that aspect of professionalism is women are the number one buyers in all the families. And if we see something, we're going to support it and buy it. So, hey, sponsors, listen up. But it's true.
It's true.
So how does it feel seeing someone like, I know her? And
I'm so proud of her. Like, we don't hang out. But when I see Nicole on screen, she's all about her craft. She can just take in any character and it's believable.
Mhm.
You know, I just love Nicole.
Yes.
She's like class.
She's in the show. Yeah,
And on the show,
I'm sure in real life too.
class.
But yeah,
And that character, that woman is holding it down. She's like a documentary filmmaker and raising 3 kids.
Mhm.
Wonderful mom.
And has a great husband.
Listen,
Who?
her husband from day one.
Yes.
Not my type of guy to date, but now is my type of guy to date. He's so sexy to me. But I think the women make their guys sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking about before about Evan Handler
And
Harry. The women make the guys sexy.
Because they're so in love with them. You could just see it.
Mm-hmm.
that's what I think is so great about the show is that it just really focuses on the women, and then the men are like their accessories
Mhm.
that they carry
Yes.
on
Yes.
throughout their life.
Yes.
And I love seeing it. Yeah.
It's perfect. And so our next woman that's up is Sarah Ramirez, who you may remember from Grey's Anatomy.
Mhm.
And she's like, whole different look because she's playing Che Diaz, the podcaster and comedian.
Mm-hmm.
And she's brought into the fold through Carrie.
Right.
So, I mean, what did you think of Che? You know, because she's a non-binary character. She's Latina.
Mm-hmm. I think she's funny because in Grey's Anatomy we didn't see that.
No, not at all.
I think she's funny. I don't think she's the settling down type. She wants her freedom to be with everybody. I never thought she and Miranda would make it. I
No.
never thought that. But Miranda always picked guys that are not like, excuse me, what she would date or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I never saw her wanting to really have that relationship be long term, but I saw Miranda wanting
Yes.
I saw a clip and she did a stand-up performance and basically called Miranda out
Yes.
on their
Yeah.
like sexual relationship.
Yes.
And that was really odd and hard to see just because Miranda's I just think Miranda's such a respectable, established woman. And for someone to just call her out
use the
publicly.
jokes for that.
Yeah,
that
it just felt really wrong. Like
Yeah.
I was not a fan.
Like, even though Miranda comes off tough,
Right.
you know, because she has to in the workforce of being a lawyer.
She's a lawyer.
And being
Right.
against
Yes.
men. But she's got feelings too.
And she
Right.
says constantly throughout the series, I think the big thing of Miranda is she's like, why am I a successful, high power woman and I'm not attractive to men? But a man can be the exact same
Yeah.
thing.
Mhm.
And that's what I love is like, you know, you get a vision of the workplace, but then also it's like this powerful woman is position of power and making lady moves.
Men, they get intimidated by that.
And I think that hurt Miranda's dating early in the, in Sex and the City because she was so masculine because
And she was all about her work.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer.
and
This is what I do.
She was condescending to the men in her life.
But also working with the younger generation in the
Mhm.
workplace.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That whole dynamic is just again, it's just a whole shift, especially when bringing into the pandemic and all the things that happened and came out in the workplace and what we're doing. Everything was brought to light.
But
Yeah.
a positive thing I could say about Miranda on this new show, her clothes are on point.
On
Did you see those jumpsuits?
On point.
Them jumpsuits that she wears. She's
On
wearing these
point.
beautiful dresses. She's not always in the suit.
Yeah.
She threw those suits away.
She threw the suits
The
away.
suits, these 2 jumpsuits. I was like, oh, okay, I have to have that. I said, forget Carrie. I said, sorry, Carrie, I ain't looking at nothing you wearing. I'm totally looking at. I'm going to Miranda's closet.
Yeah. And in Sex and the City, no one wants to be Miranda. Like no one is like, I'm a
I think
Miranda.
they tried to
But-
make her masculine in the first couple of seasons
Yeah.
of Sex and the
And
City.
there's a way of doing that that's powerful and like balanced, but that costuming was harsh.
and
it was harsh.
it could have been Miranda's way, the character,
Mm-hmm.
her way of saying, I'm working with these men.
Mm-hmm.
I can dress like them
Yeah.
and I have a dick too, but I'm a woman. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Go ahead,
I don't know
girl.
what the thought process behind the wardrobe was.
'Cause
but
I've
now
seen
I'm loving her
beautiful
wardrobe.
prints. Yeah.
And colors. This girl is like, I'm like, she's like sunshine. I'm like, woo, she's so bright. But I'm saying like, man, I was like, Patricia Field is killing it with Miranda. Finally, Miranda's being seen. At least I see her, and I want everything in her closet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I have so much respect for Patricia Field. I mean, whenever anyone asks me, because I'm interested in fashion and the fashion industry, and whenever anyone asks me, what's the inspiration for you? Who do you look up to? It's always been Patricia Field for me.
And that woman is up there in age now, and she's still
killing
going strong.
And that's the thing, you know, the conversations that they're having is more than just about the relationship. It's their personal life, their children. It's so more in depth, I feel. And then just navigating the world on the premise of, you know, who you are. And it's just an eye-opening experience.
Right.
Yeah, it's their new chapter. They have kids. The world has changed so much since Sex and the City.
They're in their 50s.
Carrie's got her finances in check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, her finances are really in check.
But she's not friends anymore with...
Well, they're working that out. But I mean...
Well, no, they're friends.
Yeah,
it's just Samantha's on a different coast now.
Yeah.
And
Is she gonna come back on the show?
Rumor has it.
Well, we were hoping for this last season, and then they started teasing about she was going to make an appearance, but that appearance just was really what it was, a teaser, because I'm like, you're in the car, you guys are not together, interacting for the Last Supper, and it really was a teaser.
I think And Just Like That is not necessarily a show made for me. You know, as much as Sex and the City was, because it was exciting and it was fresh. But I think the main thing that seems to be lacking for me in this show is the absence of Samantha. And I think that that's just undeniable.
Right.
I think she's slowly gonna. I think they're gonna work it out.
I don't think it's
I think they're gonna work it out. I think.
Really?
I think she's hopeful.
She's communicating.
Yep, she's being a part of it.
She sent flowers to Big's memorial.
Yep. And she made a cameo on camera
she made
this time.
And she reached out because she was trying to get to the Last Supper.
Yeah.
She missed her flight. You know, so I'm hopeful.
I think old wounds can heal.
I'm hopeful.
So I'm positive on being hopeful as well. But let's talk about this next woman who's brought in by Miranda. And you know who I'm talking about. The actress name is Karen Pittman, who I love. She plays Dr. Naya Coleman. And she's on fire right now.
Let me tell you, if I see Karen Pittman on another show, I'm going to have to hog tie Karen Pittman.
She's
like, can I have
everywhere because she's on the morning show with Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston.
I love
I saw her on a Hallmark movie. Okay, that's when I first had seen her. I said, hey, she's on that Hallmark movie, Unthinkable Things, because it was in Italy and it was nice. It's a good story. So I
love Karen Pittman.
I love her too. And the things
she's
that,
great.
Lord, she's like, when it comes to the sex scenes,
I didn't expect that.
She's taking over for Samantha until Samantha get back.
I didn't expect that.
And dating at her age.
Oh,
all
over the rainbow.
Us, dating
all over the rainbow.
And she was on the apps, honey. She was like,
just hitting them all.
But that's right. That's how it is today now, right? Swipe left, swipe right.
No more drinks.
She's married. She doesn't know.
No more drinks.
She doesn't know. It's not the drink. She's married.
Yeah,
she doesn't know.
Swipe right.
She don't know.
I've never been on.
She never will swipe. Ever. She looks at her husband Bill like Charlotte looks at Harry.
Oh,
she loves him.
I do.
She loves him some Bill.
Love
she
me
loves
some
him.
William.
Marry me, Bill. If you want to start some songs, don't give her the fifth dimension. So she's straight when it comes to him.
But it's a new age. It's the digital age of how do you create relationships now in 2023, 2024. It's all online.
So since we're talking about the apps right now in this moment, can I talk about the other night?
Let me introduce one more character because it will totally segue into the apps. And we'll tell our little the adventures of Patricia and dating. So I could totally relate to this next character. She became my favorite the minute. Seema, who was brought in by Carrie's real estate agent. And Seema and I are the same person, except I don't smoke. This woman is a chimney. She's smoking them cigarettes.
Just like that?
Well, she started and she stopped. She's done though. She's done with it.
Okay.
She's done with it. But Seema, she's a power player, great career, single, and the only thing that's missing is a good man. And that scene where Carrie's like, well, at least you're getting yourself out there. And when she checked Carrie on that, saying, easy for you to say that. You've had the love of your life. She goes, I haven't even been divorced happily. I said, well, that's funny how she put it that way. Divorced happily. I've never been married. And I looked and I said, wait a minute. that woman's talking to me. I'm her.
Adapting to the digital age.
It is not fun.
It's really dystopian almost sometimes. Like, not to say that you should give up, because there shouldn't be any of that, but it is odd that you're subjected to your phone to meet and connect with someone. It's rough. I mean, that's hard. That's difficult.
But those are the tools now. The tools that have, I want to say, a strategic way of knowing your likes and dislikes. Like my friend, she's happily married. They're going on 13 years of marriage, and they met on an app that matched exactly what she wanted and what he wanted, and they're happy. And
you're like, what app?
Right. What app is that? Like I said, you know what app that is? A reality show. And I'm signing up. I couldn't even get on the Golden Bachelor because I was too young. When have I been too young? I couldn't date old ass Gary because I was too young.
Gary's cute.
He's 70. I would have gave him a shot.
We're going to go play pickleball and it will be fine. We're going to meet someone on the court.
See, but Stacy's my wing woman. And we went out the other night. Go ahead, tell the story because she can't wait to tell the story.
So she asked me to go be her wing woman on a date. Match.com had an event where they invited their members or whatever to come meet. So we went to this place. She and I had a great time. And so they had a glass room, so you can see who's coming in the room. And so my back was to the room, and I was like, okay, you ready to go in? She was like, no, there's nobody in there. I look, and I'm like, there's nobody in there. So then I'm like, we're having tacos, and I'm like, okay, 15 minutes later, did you see anybody? She's like, no. And I'm looking like, where are the people? So we end up finally going in the room, and I'm a person, like when I go to a restaurant anywhere, I want to see the whole place. So my back is always to the wall. So we sit at a table, just she and I, and then this one other girl comes over, and she starts talking, and then this guy, Lewis, comes over. And I swear I was on a date with Lewis, and I'm married. So Patricia and the girl talking, I'm talking to Lewis. We're having a great time. We're laughing. So I'm kicking Patricia on the table. I'm like, do you want to talk? And she's like, no. I have another girlfriend. Well, she's not my girlfriend. She works at a restaurant that I frequent. And I told her I was going to the event. She was like, well, if you see any guys, because I'm on the apps too, just show my picture. She sent me a cute picture. I showed it to Lewis. He was like, yeah. So now I'm texting her. He's answering her questions, and I was like, "Well, now I'm the middleman." Right. She done took my date. So, needless to say, she did text me yesterday and said we made a connection. We're going to lunch next week.
High five on Lewis. Yeah. He was cool. He was handing out his business cards and stuff. I said, "Are you here for business, or are you trying to get a woman?" I was like, "I don't know."
He drove an hour to that event. He said he's always in LA. I think he said he lived out in like Rialto or somewhere.
Yeah, he did.
And I literally, if I wasn't married, I would have given Lewis a shot. He said, I'm African. And, immediately some people would be like, Lewis didn't have a thick dialect at all.
Not at all.
He smelled good. And I'm describing him to my husband. I'm texting my husband. Yep. I was like, Lewis smelled good. His nails are clean. Yes. He owns his own house. He's in finance. And he's saying all the right stuff. And
hey, Lewis.
Hey, Lewis.
This girlfriendship podcast can be the kicker for you.
So they made a connection.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
But there's another part to the story. The next day, Match sends a whole list of everybody who should have been there. And there was a lot of people that should have been there. And I saw this one guy. And I said, ooh, if he would have showed up, I would have liked to talk to him. And guess what I did? I liked him, and I sent him a message saying, hey, saw your list. Your name was on the list of last night's social. It's a shame you didn't show up. I think we would have connected. Mm-hmm. He read my profile. He hit me right back. And so he got my number, and then we're going to go have a little appetizer. And
nice.
That we didn't have at the social life.
Well, that's so
you didn't even need me.
Right. Clearly, this is a whole new way of dating, a whole new way. And I mean, you never know where you can find love.
But sometimes it goes left. Are you really who you say you are on the app?
Oh, it's
Do you
scary.
really look like your pictures?
Oh, yes.
And I get a few girlfriends who are single who say, well, do you and Reggie know anybody? Well, because I don't want to meet a stranger. Well, if I introduce you to him, he's still going to be a stranger. I haven't dated him. I only know him in either Reggie know him from work or I know him from Reggie or whatever. But I'm like, anybody you meet is still going to be a stranger until you guys really get to know each other.
Amen.
But I feel like having a friend pick somebody for me, they know what I like.
Mhm.
And I've had instances where people have matched me up with someone.
I'll never do that again.
And it was
I
a nice
will
experience because
never,
I go
ever.
in with no expectations. I like calm myself down and because I'm like, they picked them. And some of them have become lifelong friends, companions and
Yep.
stuff
Mhm.
like that. So, hey, but I feel that would work for me. Or do a reality show. Hint, anybody watching, want to cast me for a reality dating show? I'm your woman.
Do you feel that you can have more than one love?
One love, one love. You're lucky just to have just one.
Looking at
She's
what
a
Carrie,
one
man, I'm
man,
a one woman. I'm
one woman man.
But-
One man
well,
woman.
It's always
Right.
been big for
But
Carrie.
I like that Carrie's like, wow, could I have 2 great loves? And I said, you can have as many great loves as you can because you know why? I look up to Jennifer Lopez because that woman's doing something right. She keep getting a man. I said, if Jennifer Lopez could be
and
married,
repeating the man.
I know. If she could keep finding a man, there is hope for me.
It's Jennifer Lopez. They're in love with the idea of
Okay.
Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Hey, at least she gets him to the altar. I can't even get there.
Girl.
I can't even get down the aisle. You know, put a ring on it.
Well, I think it's all in the mindset too. It's all
Amen.
in the mindset.
I don't know.
You know what?
I want it. I
But
really
you
do.
know
I'm so
what?
I'm a hopeful romantic. People, I hate when they say I'm a hopeless romantic. That doesn't. You're hopeful. Hopeful is positive. And I keep saying that. I'm a hopeful romantic. It will come. I will meet him.
Yeah.
And then I'll be
50s is the new 40s. Girl, you still
50s,
young.
the,
Amen.
50s the new 30.
Also, I just want to say,
I'm
Patricia,
really-
you're beautiful too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You
I
tell them
do
what
get
you
that.
do for a living. You
Yeah.
look great. You work
have-
out. You
right.
got your own
You
place.
care
You got
about
your own car.
yourself.
Your
You've-
finances
yeah.
together. You know, it might be intimidating, but
I
you
get
can't
that.
lessen yourself
Nope. No.
for a man.
Nope.
Like the other night when I was
Never.
like, you going in the flat heels? And you was like, well, I always get the short guy. Well, let the
No.
tall guy come to you.
Yeah, wear what makes you comfortable.
Yes. Don't lessen yourself
Yeah.
for the
Amen.
man because then that's not the man. That's not the
Amen.
one.
And then imagine having to spend the rest of your time with him trying to match up to what he can't.
Look
Right.
at Kevin Hart and
And-
his wife.
And
Yeah.
he might be
Look at Eddie
impotent.
Murphy and Nicole
Yeah.
when they were together.
Yeah,
You know,
you're right.
it's love. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not really about the
I'm just
look.
like, this is who I am. Take me. I'm like, I'm not going to change me and I'm not going to change you. I said,
Right.
because, you know, if I'm changing you, then I'm changing all the things that I could fall in love with. So I
Right.
tell women just like, look for that person that's going to love you.
Also,
and
when
I'm-
you put that energy out there, it will
Yeah.
attract.
yeah, but I don't give up. I mean, I got my heart cracked a few weeks ago, you know, but I just keep dust myself off and
Right.
just
Keep
push.
on
When you
going.
called me with that
Push.
call, I
Oh.
was like, oh my God.
Hey, when Carrie got broken up with the Post-it, I topped her.
And that's what I think is
topped
so
her.
great about the show, really, too, is that it shows some really real moments in relationships
Right.
that are
Yeah.
so ugly, and
Yeah.
it makes you feel horrible. But you see these
Absolutely.
women pick each other back up.
Right.
from
I was
it.
going to say, but
Yeah.
they pick themselves
Right.
back up
Yeah.
and they move on.
Right.
And the show picked up a whole bunch of girlfriend type of relationships
right.
and programming and
Right.
television
And
Yes.
that
Yeah.
has led to a new type of generation.
And I love how these new women, how Carrie and Miranda and Charlotte have brought these new women in the fold, and they've never met each other, and they're all like connecting,
Right.
and being brought into other, you know, new
Right.
occupations and new, you know, lifestyles. And some of them are single, some of them are not. Some have.
And they're also women of color.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. How does the cast represent women today?
Right, because you know the Sex and the City women, they the OGs of girlfriendship.
Right.
What about these new women that are on the scene? These new younger generations, are we getting a correct depiction of them and their friendships and their dating situations that's going on today?
Like in the new shows that
Yeah,
are
like the new
coming
shows
up?
that we see. I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, like we could talk about like like the past ones, like Girlfriends. That was, it was just showing 4 Black women in their 20s.
Loved the show.
But like nobody really watched that show. Like that show didn't get any love at all. And
was it because it wasn't being properly represented like Sex and the City was?
Well, because it was network TV. So you can only do so much on network.
Right. But like Tracy Ellis Ross and the cast, they talked about how we were never asked to be on late night talk shows.
Right.
We were never on daytime talk shows. We did no press for the show. Like there was no love for these women showing what Black women were going through in their 20s and being friends and being bosses. They had jobs, they were working, but that show just didn't. It's like, why
but is that the fault of the publicist for the show or your publicist?
What? Yeah,
because Golden Brooks was on a few late night shows.
Tracy Ellis was like, we didn't get that love. We didn't get, we had to really fight hard to get some attention. But I mean, I thought I was going to lose my Black girl card because I didn't watch as much as I should have. But I got to say, one of the best jokes on that show was from Golden Brooks when this Italian white guy was trying to date her and she was not having it and he was short. And he came up to her and she said, "You have to be this high to ride this ride." And when I heard that joke, I fell on the floor. And then they put it in a promo and was playing it all week. I just kept falling on the floor every time. I said, that is one of the best jokes I've ever heard.
Yeah, the show's funny.
I never really watched Girlfriends or Single Ladies.
Yeah, I love Single Ladies. I love
with
Single Ladies.
Queen Latifah.
Living Single.
I
Living Single was I would pop in every once in a while just to say, I'm earning my Black card.
Right.
I gotta, still a Black woman. Gotta connect. I
didn't really watch those shows.
Well, I think I think the idea of women's relationships, to me personally, I think the most meaningful relationships I've had in my life thus far has been with women, whether that be friendships or my relationship with my mother and I always tend to gravitate towards things that are women oriented, and I think that Sex and the City did do a good job of that because they also showed really realistic friendships, and I think that that's great. But I also think too that it is time to do a show that's fun like that and centered around women and have it be diverse. And I think I've yet to really see that come into play.
What about Insecure or Euphoria? Do you think?
I think Euphoria is a show that kind of goes every which way. I don't even think that there's a lot of topics of friendship within that show, but that show is, I think, diversity-wise, it's getting there. It's, you see more people that are looking like the people that I've gone to high school with, and someone I'm half Asian. And so, I think that in and of itself is like, it's rare that I've seen something like that. Actually on the show, The Summer I Turned Pretty, the girl is half Korean and half white like me, which is really sweet. But, I think Euphoria does a job like that, but it's really dramatized and it's super intense and it's really heavy.
Well, let's go further with Euphoria in connection with And Just Like That, because now the kids are grown up on with Miranda and Charlotte, and their kids are sexual beings now. They're having sex, and they're and they're allowing it to happen. They're aware of it. But then Euphoria, that's a dark show, but
it's dark.
It's a dark show. It's so dark. Yes. But we have to talk about the relationship between Maddie and Cassie. Because that's
it breaks my heart. It really does. When I watched the second season and I saw that going on, it's very evident that Cassie is having her own familial problems, especially with her dad and her mom and her family. And it's you really do feel for her. But I just ultimately really felt for Maddie when that was happening, because it was like, forget the guy, who cares about him? He's going to do whatever. He's shown his true colors to her. But now your friend who's always been loyal to you is doing this. It really breaks
for her to have sex
watch.
with her best friend's ex. And then...
But she's a phenomenal. Sydney Sweeney is a great actress, though. Like, she really makes you.
That girl.
She just brings it.
She's going to be one of the next top actors.
LaFern? I'm lost.
No, but
I've never seen the
we'll
show.
tell you, Maddie and Cassie are best friends,
and they're in each other's lives when they both really needed each other. They're teenagers in high school. You're going through so many emotions, and also they both have really deep family struggles, so they have relied on each other.
But the thing is, beyond their friendship, is that when when Cassie starts sleeping with Maddie's boyfriend, she's at his house, in his room, having sex. And they would have sex and then they'll go into the bathroom and like, just, freshen up. And then they're walking back into the room and the mother can see down the hallway, can see her. And the mother's like, and I said, are parents okay with this? And then you see it and just like that with Miranda, and she's letting her son have sex upstairs and she could hear it. And I'm like, is that what parents are doing?
And then Charlotte taking the condoms to her daughter in the snow.
In the snow.
So she won't get pregnant. Is that what parents are doing? Is that how our children's sex lives are?
At least they're having safe sex.
I just learned a girlfriend of mine, her friend, she told me that when she was a teenager, she's my age, that her mother would be like, if you want to have sex, you have it here at home while I'm home. And I'm like, well, what is that going to do? You can still get pregnant, but my mother would never.
My mother was pretty cool. I mean, my boyfriend would come and hang out in my room and we watch TV. And
was the door open?
Yeah, but it was, we closed the door sometimes. But it was only because we were a biracial couple and in Illinois. And at the time we were young, it just wasn't safe. We just got so many stares. And my mother was from the South and she was just really paranoid about something happening to us. So she said, if anything, I would let him come over here, but I don't want you guys going out. So my mother was like, we weren't having sex, but I
didn't have a boyfriend until I was 21, so I was grown.
Well, I had two older sisters who were both teen moms, so my mother had a target on my. She was staring at me like sideways, like she would say threatening things like, "Go ahead and get pregnant on me if you want to."
So I think this may lead into a part 2, part 3, part 4.
Yeah.
My take on that subject is that I think, and also like as a teenager, I mean, I'm going to be moving out for college soon, but I think that the bottom line is teenagers have sex. That's not anything unheard of. That's not, and it's. I think as a parent, you have to face the fact of, would you rather have your teenager having sex in a public park,
right?
Not being safe, and also to safe sex, particularly. I mean, obviously, you want to have sex with someone that you care about, but sometimes relationships happen, things happen, and I think safe sex is the priority. If you can, and if anyone's listening to this, hopefully your school has. Like the nurse has options for you, the resources, you can talk to a counselor there. If not, I know Planned Parenthood does, and you can get condoms there, and you can also get birth control without a parent's consent. And so I think that is the most important.
And it's all about being mature.
Yes.
And being responsible for your body.
And I think that if you're able to go and advocate for your body and for yourself, you are able to then have sex in a way that is conducive to you and also not destructive to yourself or your body.
I love that. I think that's a good one to cheers on. Let's grab a cheer.
You would cheer for anything with a drink.
Hey, life is about cheering. Cheers, lady. This has been a wonderful, productive, I think, provocative and wonderful conversation. And thank you guys so much. Cheers to girlfriendship, ladies. Cheers.
Here, I want to get a clink. Yeah. Until next time, girl.
Until next time.
Keep it fabulous. Keep the good vibes. And it's always best to have a little extra girlfriendship. Yeah.
Amen. Girlfest.
It's a new girlfriend.
Girlfriends. Yeah.
GirlFriendShip is brought to you by Inferno Productions. Hosted by LaFern Cusack and Patricia Cage. Executive produced by Ulani Gray and Erica McCartan. And produced by Lauren Bond. Thanks for joining in the Ultimate Girlfriend Fest.